This page is the cover of the Sega Saturn Fan Magazine from September 20, 1996, featuring prominent artwork of Ryu from Street Fighter Alpha 2 and a 3D render of Akira Yuki from Virtua Fighter. The issue highlights coverage of the Tokyo Game Show report and previews of various Saturn titles. Key games mentioned on the cover include Sakura Wars, the arcade version of Virtua Fighter 3, Cyber Troopers Virtualon, Shining the Holy Ark, Fighting Vipers, Virtua Cop 2, Outrun, Riglord Saga 2, and Afterburner 2. There's also a promise of a detailed strategy guide for Street Fighter Alpha 2. This page is a striking advertisement for the high-energy 3D fighting game, Fighting Vipers. The left side showcases the game's distinct logo and the compelling slogan, "Play it!" alongside a dynamic ensemble of the game's colorful cast of characters. On the right, a large, detailed image of a scaly creature's head looms, symbolizing the game's enclosed, often deadly arenas. Below, 3 small screenshots provide a snapshot of the polygonal combat, showing characters like Candy engaged in battle. The prominent Japanese text translates to Chainlink Deathmatch, a fitting description for the game's signature walled stages and ring-out mechanics. The accompanying text outlines the features of the Sega Saturn version, including a playback mode to review fights, a training mode to hone skills, and a version switching mode that lets players select between the arcade and Saturn game balance. The game is priced at 6,800 yen. This page is a visually striking advertisement for the survival horror interactive movie, Enemy Zero, from developer Warp on the Sega Saturn. The left features the prominent red Warp logo and the game title, Enemy Zero, presented in both English and Japanese, clearly defining it as an interactive movie. The right side showcases a memorable CGI render of 2 characters in an embrace. Key details below confirm the game's platform as Sega Saturn, its release date in December 1996, and the price of 6,800 yen, notably spread across 4 seeds. This presentation emphasizes the game's cinematic style and significant content. This page is the table of contents for issue 19 of Saturn Fan Magazine, dated September 20, 1996. The main feature dives deep into the arcade phenomenon, Virtua Fighter 3. The Sega Power-Up Report is packed with info on highly anticipated titles like Cyber Troopers Virtualon, Shining the Holy Ark, Sakura Wars, and Riglord Saga 2. You also get updates on Fighting Vipers, Virtua Cop 2, and Daytona USA Circuit Edition. A special issue covers the Tokyo Game Show 96 and a large collection of RPGs, including Langrisser 2i, Dark Savior, Lunar, Silver Star Story, Tengai Meikyu, The Apocalypse, and Albert Odyssey Gaiden, Legend of Eldine. The strategy section offers tips for popular games like Street Fighter Alpha 2 and Tokimeki Memorial. New releases featured include Real Bout Fatal Fury, Policenauts, Destruction Derby, and Starfighter 3000. There are also ongoing series reports, arcade game news, upcoming releases, rankings, and reader content. The left side highlights a new puzzle game called Zoop from MediaQuest, arriving October 25th. This page kicks off a Sega Power-Up report focusing on the Saturn version of Cyber Troopers Virtualon. It's an urgent update covering the game's appearance at the Tokyo Game Show 96. The game is currently at 50% completion, but already shows impressive potential. The report highlights that all 8 Virtuoids were playable in the demo, allowing players to test various techniques. Visually, the port faithfully reproduces arcade elements, like victory poses and screen effects. While the versus mode in the demo was just CPU matches, there's speculation about how split-screen battles might work on the Saturn. Movement is noted as being slightly less smooth than the arcade's 60 FPS, which is expected at 50% completion, but essential display elements are accurately ported. A major highlight is the report on the dedicated twin-stick controller for Saturn, described as feeling good and making maneuvers like dashing and sudden stops easy, despite a slight difference from the arcade feel. This controller is clearly a key feature for the Saturn port. The next page continues the Cyber Troopers Virtualon Sega Power-Up report, shifting focus from Temjin to the second featured Virtuoid, VR Viper 2, aptly titled The Ruler of the Skies. This section reveals Viper 2's arsenal and unique abilities. Key attacks highlighted include its rapid-fire Vulcan, a close-quarters beam saber, and the versatile 7-way missile. The report emphasizes Viper 2's aerial dominance, showcasing its powerful SLC dive attack and a homing beam fired from its chest. Screens demonstrate Viper 2 executing these moves in various environments. The verification section specifically praises Viper 2's aerial combat prowess and notes how the Saturn version successfully captures its distinct character and atmosphere, rounding out the look at the two main Virtuoid's capabilities. This page features an in-depth interview with Koichi Mori, the producer of the Sega Saturn version of Cyber Troopers Virtualon. The interview delves into the challenges and goals for porting the arcade hit to the home console. A major focus is on implementing the crucial split-screen versus mode, which was a key feature of the arcade game and a point of discussion in previous reports. Mori discusses the technical hurdles and the team's dedication to making this a reality, even suggesting the possibility of needing multiple TVs for the best experience. He also addresses adapting the arcade's unique twin-stick controls to the standard Saturn controller, emphasizing the effort to maintain the game's feel. The interview touches upon potentially adding new content, like stages or CG movies, to enhance the home experience. Screenshots on the page visually confirm the split-screen mode is indeed present, showcasing simultaneous gameplay. The overall tone highlights the developer's commitment to creating the most faithful and enjoyable Virtualon experience possible on the Saturn hardware. This page features Sega's Power Up Report 2, focusing on the latest installment in the Shining series, Shining: The Holy Ark. Coming a year after Shining Wisdom, this new title represents a significant shift, moving away from the previous game's style and embracing a full polygon 3D RPG experience. The report highlights the game's ambitious goal of achieving para-reality, aiming to visually realize an impossible fantasy world. Players can expect smooth scrolling through fully rendered 3D environments, including towns and dungeons, with detailed polygon models for characters and monsters. The game promises dynamic battle scenes with impressive action from large, detailed monsters. Screenshots showcase the vibrant 3D world, depicting a town scene, a dungeon encounter, and a monster close-up, emphasizing the game's visual fidelity and the smooth movement it achieves. This report positions Shining: The Holy Ark as a major step forward for the series on the Sega Saturn. This page delves further into Shining: The Holy Ark, showcasing the detailed character models with a striking CG render of the protagonist, Arthur, alongside a wireframe view highlighting the 3D polygon work. It emphasizes the ambition to create expressive townspeople with unique reactions in the game's vibrant 3D environments. The game's world is set in the country of Enrich, hinting at a narrative filled with historical depth and dangers. A battle screenshot is featured, showing character HP/MP bars, illustrating the goal of transforming battles into engaging events with individual character actions. The core of the page is an interview with Mr. Takahashi, who discusses the game's shift to a full 3D RPG experience, aiming for a sense of para-reality and realism in its visual design and perspective. He highlights the detailed environments of towns and dungeons, the balance between random encounters and scripted events, and hints at the story's focus on sacred relics. Mr. Takahashi stresses the development team's passion for creating a detailed and immersive game that players will truly enjoy. Finally, a profile for Arthur the Knight describes him as a skilled mercenary and leader, known for his strength, but also a charming weakness for women, fitting for the game's cool and detailed world. This page expands on Shining: The Holy Ark's presentation, emphasizing the use of polygons to create highly detailed and realistic environments. From sprawling outdoor fields and towns with diverse architectural styles, to intricate interiors that players can freely explore by rotating the camera. The battle system is highlighted as a dynamic, event-driven experience, where both allies and enemies engage in lively actions. It employs a command selection interface familiar to fans of the Shining series, allowing players to choose attacks, magic, or items, with character sprites moving during combat. Monster design is given special attention, showcasing detailed concept art and in-game models for creatures like an ogre and a crab. The game features unique designs and actions for each monster, not just simple color swaps, aiming for depth and variety in encounters. A report on the Tokyo Game Show demo version praises the impressive polygon environments, smooth scrolling, and atmospheric dungeons. The demo offered a taste of the full polygon world, surprising enemy encounters, and impactful background music, leaving a strong impression of the game's potential. Finally, the page reveals the inclusion of high-quality CG movies, particularly before key battles like mid-boss encounters, enhancing the narrative and dramatic impact of the game. This page delves into the highly anticipated Sakura Wars, highlighting its unique blend of adventure and strategy gameplay, presented in a style reminiscent of a TV anime series. The game is structured like a 10-episode show, with the first half focusing on character interactions and story progression, leading into tactical battles in the second half. The adventure sections offer a high degree of freedom, allowing players to explore the Imperial Theater base, interact with the main characters of the Flower Division, and make choices through the LIP system. These decisions are crucial as they impact character relationships and a trust stat, which in turn affects performance in battles. Combat takes place in a strategy simulation format, where characters pilot their spirit-powered mechs called Kubu. The effectiveness of these units is directly tied to the pilot's spiritual power and mental state, which are influenced by the relationships and trust built during the adventure segments. This creates a compelling connection between the two distinct gameplay styles. A small section also mentions a special Sakura Wars-themed Sega Saturn Power Memory backup RAM cartridge being released alongside the game, featuring character art. Overall, the page emphasizes the game's engaging narrative, dynamic character interactions, and strategic depth, promising an experience that feels like playing through a vibrant anime series. This page continues the look at Sakura Wars, focusing on specific gameplay elements that make it unique. It highlights the LIP system, which presents players with timed dialogue choices that significantly impact character relationships, and a trust stat. Building this trust can lead to special love-love events, delving into romantic aspects of the story. The game also features exciting transformation scenes for the heroines before they head into battle, like Sakura's dynamic sequence. Players also get to see the contrasting daily lives of the Flower Division members outside of combat. Interestingly, a risky cursor mechanic allows players to interact with the environment and characters in ways that can influence relationships, sometimes in suggestive fashion, adding another layer to character interaction. Overall, the page emphasizes how player choices and actions deeply affect the narrative and character development in this blend of adventure and strategy. This page dives deep into the highly anticipated sequel, Riglord Saga 2, revealing significant new systems and skills that greatly expand the gameplay possibilities. The total number of skills has surged to over 200, offering players a vast array of abilities. While the Spark system from the original returns for learning standard skills, Riglord Saga 2 introduces a brand new skill fusion system. This exciting mechanic allows players to combine different learned skills to create entirely new, powerful techniques, adding a layer of strategic depth to character development. The page showcases various skill categories. We see physical attack skills like the returning strike and a new multi-target attack called Crash. Magic is detailed, including attack magic with familiar spells like Fire Blast and Thunder, holy magic for healing and support, and special magic featuring utility spells like Fly Razor for bypassing terrain and Move Slow to hinder enemies. Unique character skills are also highlighted, such as the protagonist Miyu's exclusive dragon skills, including Dragon Breath and Storm. The page also touches upon defensive skills and attack-boosting abilities like Ki. Screenshots throughout the page demonstrate these skills in action, showcasing the game's visual flair. A brief report mentions a demo shown at the Tokyo Game Show, featuring new battle scenarios. This page dives deep into the fighting game, Fighting Vipers, offering a strategic guide for players. It emphasizes practicing before jumping into versus matches, highlighting the Saturn version's robust training mode, where you can learn specific techniques and view commands visually. The guide then moves to the arcade mode, stressing its importance for gaining practical combat experience against AI opponents with adjustable difficulty. It provides a stage-by-stage breakdown of the arcade ladder, detailing the combat styles and key strategies needed to defeat opponents from Stage 1's ban through Stage 8 and the final boss, Raxel. Expect opponents who focus on throws, guarding, specific attack ranges, and unique tactics like Raxel's powerful throws and complex attack patterns. Adding to the excitement, the page reveals how to unlock and use the hidden character, Pepsi Man, and teases another unexpected hidden character, Kuma-chan, known internationally as Honey. This page is a must-read for anyone looking to master Fighting Vipers on the Saturn. Overall, this page provides a detailed guide to Fighting Vipers, covering training, arcade mode stages, and unveiling hidden characters like Pepsi Man and Honey. This page delves deeper into the strategies for Fighting Vipers, focusing on universal techniques critical for success in competitive matches. It kicks off by explaining the fundamental concept of high, middle, and low attacks, and how skilled players utilize Nitaku, or two-choice mix-ups, to keep opponents guessing. This involves using options like quick high attacks followed by low sweeps, or throw attempts to force a guess. Next, the guide covers running attacks and effective ways to counter them, demonstrating how timing and positioning are key to intercepting or evading a charging opponent. A crucial point discussed is the strategic advantage gained by destroying an opponent's armor, explaining how this significantly increases subsequent damage and shifts the momentum in your favor. The page also breaks down the options after being knocked down, specifically the decision of whether or not to perform a yukimi, quick recovery, illustrating the different scenarios that arise depending on your choice. Finally, it touches upon the unique aspects and strategies associated with the hyperversion characters, offering tips on how to leverage their altered movesets for victory. Screenshots showcase characters like Bon, Honey, Picky, and others demonstrating these techniques. This page continues the deep dive into Fighting Viper's strategy, focusing on individual character techniques for Tokyo and Bon across both standard and arranged or hyper versions. It presents the special move lists for both characters, showing the commands for their unique attacks in different game modes. For Tokyo, the arranged version adds armor-breaking techniques, emphasizing the need to learn these new tools to overcome opponents' defenses. His hyper version focuses on powerful combos that can start from low hits, launching the opponent for devastating follow-ups like the belly flop. Bon sections discuss his powerful throwing techniques, such as the super dangerous drop and Iron Mountain, highlighting their effectiveness and the tactical situations where they shine, particularly after breaking an opponent's guard. The arranged version has minor changes, while his hyper version strategy involves effective evasion and leveraging key moves for punishing opponents. His hyperversion combos often begin with attacks like Jinji Igekiha, leading to launches and significant damage. Both characters see strategic shifts in their hyperversions, requiring players to adapt their approach. This page continues the Fighting Viper's strategy guide, focusing on the characters Honey and Raxel. For Honey, the guide notes she has undergone few changes in the arranged and hyperversions, adding some new techniques that players familiar with Pei-chan from Virtua Fighter 2 might recognize. The basic strategy involves launching opponents into the air and controlling the mid-air game, mixing attacks to keep opponents guessing. The hyperversion strategy emphasizes evasion timing and effective wall combos, particularly a devastating cat upper chain near the wall that can lead to a KO. Her special moves are listed, highlighting key attacks like cat upper and double rolling kick. Raxel is also noted as having very few changes across versions, maintaining his stable strength. His basic strategy revolves around utilizing effective core moves like light spin and light hand, which can be chained into powerful combos. The hyperversion tactics discuss evasion and leveraging moves like kick away and sky screamer for positioning and follow-ups. The guide provides a combination starting with a sliding kick that leads into sky screamer and kick away, illustrating a practical hyperversion combo. His reliable special moves are also presented in a table. Both sections include screenshots demonstrating strategic moments or key combos. This page is a comprehensive strategy guide for the intermediate stage of Virtua Cop 2, covering the entire level from start to finish, including the bosses. The stage begins on the docks of a port, dealing with criminals appearing on foot and from a helicopter, before moving onto the cruise ship itself. A key feature highlighted is the route split that occurs midway through Scene 2 on the ship, offering players a choice between taking the one deck or the bridge path. The guide details both routes, showing the different areas players will traverse. The left route takes you through areas like a bar before reaching the poolside for the boss encounter. The right route involves navigating through guest rooms and corridors, leading to a decisive battle inside and outside the ship's bridge against a different boss. Screenshots illustrate the various locations and enemy encounters on both paths, including the bosses. The article also includes a brief look back at the beginner stage with some new screenshots, such as the car chase sequence and the final boss from that level. This page is dedicated to the evolution of a Sega classic, announcing the return of Daytona USA in its Circuit Edition. It highlights that this version is based on the room shown at the Tokyo Game Show, promising significant improvements over the arcade original. Key enhancements include a jump to a smooth 30 frames per second frame rate, a new competitive versus mode, and the exciting addition of 2 brand new courses alongside the beloved originals. The page features the first public screenshots of the game, showcasing glimpses of the new tracks, specifically highlighting sections named Straight, Chicane, and an shaped corner near a jet coaster. The article conveys the anticipation for this enhanced Saturn release, promising a game packed with new elements. A small table lists basic game information, like publisher and genre. This page delves into the much-anticipated Sega Saturn release of Policenauts, presented as the definitive version following its appearances on PC 9821, 3DO, and PlayStation. Konami brings Hideo Kojima's cinematic adventure to the Saturn with enhanced features. Key improvements highlighted include the use of true motion technology to deliver smooth, 24 frames per second full motion video, the inclusion of brand new movies and cuts exclusive to the Saturn version, and the implementation of a dedicated shooting mode. Players can even utilize the Virtua gun and shuttle mouse for interactive gameplay. The release is set for Friday, September 13th, priced at 6,800 yen excluding tax for a 3-disc set. This special edition comes packaged in a luxurious hard case and includes a 32-page photo collection, along with bonus power memory and light gun decal seals. As an added incentive, there's a campaign offering 100 lucky purchasers a special Policenauts jumper. The visuals showcase stunning character artwork, including protagonists Jonathan Ingram and Karen Hojo, alongside other key figures and glimpses of the game's presentation. Contact information for Konami's services is also provided. This page features Konami's diverse offerings on the Sega Saturn. On the left, the highly anticipated release of Policenauts is highlighted as its final form for the Saturn, confirming its September 13th release date and price, along with details on its enhanced features and special edition bonuses like a photo book and decals. The right side showcases other exciting Konami titles. Tokimeki Memorial Tyson Puzzle Dama, a puzzle game spin-off featuring characters from the popular Tokimeki Memorial series, is scheduled for release on September 27th. Below that, the latest entry in the beloved Parodius series, known internationally as Sexy Parodius, promises chaotic shooting action, set to launch on November 1st Street. The page also includes a popular software lineup section, listing several other Konami games available on the Saturn, such as the deluxe version of Tokimeki Memorial, various sports titles, and the classic Adventure Snatcher. Finally, there's a Get the Soft campaign promotion, offering a chance to win prizes with purchases made before September 30th. This page showcases Konami's puzzle game spin-off, Tokimeki Memorial Taisen Puzzle Dama, prominently featuring charming characters from the popular dating sim series alongside gameplay screenshots. The left side highlights its upcoming release on September 27th for 5,800 yen, inviting players to challenge the iconic Tokimeki characters. The right side shifts focus to Sega Saturn's online gaming capabilities, announcing the communications war is erupting. It features a lineup of major Sega titles ready for online play, including Virtua Fighter Remix, Daytona USA Remix, Sega Rally Championship, and Cyber Troopers Virtualon. Getting connected required specific hardware and services, outlined with a price point of 14,800 yen for the necessary setup to join battles and compete. This page is a striking advertisement for Alien Trilogy on the Sega Saturn. Dominated by a close-up of the iconic xenomorph head, the layout features a collage of intense first-person gameplay screenshots. The text declares that the terror of space never ends, highlighting the game's focus on horror and action. It describes distinct zones players will navigate, including the chilling dead zone where reflexes freeze, the nightmarish red zone of ultimate horror, and the destructive hell zone. The page proudly announces that Alien Trilogy is now on sale for the Saturn, bringing the terrifying universe of Alien to players. This page is a large advertisement for the Sega Saturn RPG, Dark Savior. Prominently featured is key artwork showing the protagonist, Galarian, wielding a large sword, accompanied by another character, set against a vibrant, abstract landscape. Below the artwork, the game's title is displayed in large, striking text. The text highlights that this adventure drama will never let you sleep, emphasizing the game's engaging narrative. It describes the game's features, such as full polygon maps, allowing free camera movement and exploration to uncover hidden mysteries. A unique aspect mentioned is the parallel scenario system, where the story unfolds differently depending on how you handle the initial boss encounter, leading to various outcomes and challenges. The game is described as a Super 3D RPG, with a multi-layered structure designed to challenge players. It notes the extensive development effort, including involvement from Hiroshi Naito, known for his work on Dragon Quest. Several screenshots showcase the game's 3D environments and character models, offering glimpses of exploration and combat. The page also announces that Dark Savior is now on sale for 5,800 yen and is compatible with the Sega Multi-Controller. A small section promotes the game's theme song single, Koisuru Nemurasete by Anne Lewis. The game was developed by Climax. This page showcases Stakes winner for the Sega Saturn, an enhanced port of the popular Neo Geo horse racing game. The vibrant artwork features a pack of cartoon-style racehorses and jockeys thundering towards the finish line, emphasizing the action aspect, while a prominent golden trophy highlights the goal of victory. The game brings the acclaimed racing mechanics from the arcade and home versions and adds new simulation elements exclusively for the Saturn. You're tasked with not just riding, but also breeding and training your own horses to conquer the prestigious GOG1 races and create the ultimate champion. The game includes a password system to share and compete against horses raised by other players, expanding the challenge. With an expanded roster of 48 additional horses for breeding, the depth of creating unique champions is greatly increased. Screenshots provide a look at the race view from behind the jockey, and menu screens likely associated with the new breeding and training modes. Released in November 1996, at a price of 5,800 yen, Stakes Winner offers a blend of real jockey action and strategic horse management on the Saturn. The next page is split, showcasing two different Sega Saturn titles. On the left, you find Real Bout Fatal Fury, the latest installment in the legendary fighting game series, with the central focus on the return of Geese Howard as the final boss, 4 years after his last defeat. The page poses the question of who will be the one to take him down this time. Screenshots at the bottom highlight the intense fighting gameplay the series is known for. On the right side is Battle Athletes Daiundukai, presented as a simulation game set in the distant year 4998. The colorful artwork features a group of athletic anime girls, reflecting the game's theme, which translates to Great Athletic Meet. This side provides details on the game's price and release information. This page is split, highlighting two different Sega Saturn titles. On the left, it features a special box set for the Japanese RPG Shin Megami Tensei Devil Summoner, bundled with the Akuma Zensho, which is essentially a guide or encyclopedia for the demons in the game. Artwork of the protagonist, Reidu Kuzunoha, is prominently displayed, along with a younger character. The set includes a bonus 8cm music CD and is advertised as being now on sale for 7,800 yen. The right side focuses on Langrisser 2i, a real-time simulation RPG. The page showcases dramatic character artwork and provides details about a limited first-press special package. This special edition includes various bonuses, such as a 3D hologram illustration sheet, a Langrisser fanbook with signed messages, and an original poster and phone card. The game is priced at 6,200 yen for the special edition and 5,800 yen for the standard version. It also mentions a special program related to Langrisser 2 airing on Nippon Broadcasting All Night Nippon. This page features two upcoming Sega Saturn titles. On the left is Master of Monsters, Neo Generations, a classic simulation game series from SystemSoft making its debut on the Saturn. The artwork shows a cast of fantasy characters, including a mage-like figure, an elf, and a warrior. It's set to release on October 25, 1996, priced at 6,800 yen. The page highlights features like full battle animations and over 130 types of monsters. The right side showcases Graduation, Crossworld, an adventure game heading to the Sega Saturn. This title features a large cast of anime-style female characters and includes two new characters specifically for this version, building on the popular Graduation series. The game is slated for release in late 1996, with a price of 5,800 yen, excluding tax. A notable point is the inclusion of Saturn-exclusive original voice drama content. This page features a deep dive into a Sega Saturn sports title on the left, Tournament Leader. This golf simulation game aims to capture the feeling of being a pro golfer, offering multiple courses and various play modes like tournaments, match play, and team matches, allowing up to 4 players. It highlights smooth controls for shots and features replay functionality and multiple camera angles for viewing the action. Screenshots show the gameplay perspective and a score overlay. The ad confirms the game is now on sale. The right side of the page contains an advertisement for an internet service called InterAccess/Tokyo Internet, promoted with a series of cartoon penguins. It discusses features like prepaid cards for easy access and dial-up connections. This section is primarily a service advertisement rather than game content. This page showcases two notable Sega Saturn titles. On the left we see Toshinden Ura, Ultimate Revenge Attack, a 3D fighting game expanding the series, with new characters joining fan favorites like Agi, Ellis, Sophia, and Ripper. It highlights the game's move to high-resolution visuals on the Saturn, featuring 11 playable characters, enhanced environments, refined game balance, and improved CG sequences, promising an intense combat experience. Screenshots give a glimpse of the action. The right side is dedicated to Tokimeki Memorial, Forever With You, offering a special feature focused on the popular character Saki Nijino. It presents a detailed guide listing optimal dialogue responses for various date scenarios, designed to help players build a successful relationship with her in the dating simulation. Additionally, it includes instructions on how to create a custom CD jacket, adding a physical bonus for fans. This section serves as a valuable resource for players aiming to maximize their experience with Saki Nijino. This page continues the look at Tokimeki Memorial, Forever With You, focusing on the character Saki Nijino. It provides detailed guidance on building a relationship with her, highlighting her personality as a supportive and sporty girl, and suggesting optimal date locations and dialogue choices based on her preferences for sports and action movies. The primary focus is a special feature on Virtua Fighter 3, examining its core new systems. The article explains 3 key innovations: the ability to strategically select from 13 different stages before a match, introducing environmental variety like walls and varied terrain that significantly impacts strategy, the introduction of a high-tension sudden death round, where the first strike wins after a timeout, and how the dynamic stage design itself influences battle tactics and positioning. These features are illustrated with various gameplay screenshots, showcasing the game's graphics and character roster. This page continues the deep dive into Virtua Fighter 3, shifting focus to individual characters. It prominently features Kagemaru and Akoi Umeno Koji, detailing their backgrounds and fighting styles. Kagemaru is highlighted for his sumo techniques, excelling in throws and powerful attacks. Aioi, specializing in Aikijujutsu, is known for receiving and countering attacks, with many defensive and evasive techniques making up her moveset. The page showcases several of their signature moves through screenshots and provides lists of publicly known techniques with command inputs, though the full lists are extensive. It also points out new techniques and gives a brief summary of each character's general playstyle in VF3, emphasizing Cage's powerful throws and Akara's counter-based approach. Key moves like Cage's leg throw and Akao's turning body are visually presented. This page continues the detailed look at Virtua Fighter 3 characters, showcasing Akira Yuki, Jackie Bryant, Kagemaru, and Sarah Bryant. Each profile features a character portrait, screenshots of key moves, a list of their public techniques with command inputs, and a section discussing their playstyle in VF3. Akira Yuki is highlighted for his potent karate, with screenshots showing offensive techniques like pushing palm and body check. The commentary notes his increased focus on combination attacks and strong offensive pressure in VF3. Jackie Bryant, the renowned kickboxer, is featured next. The page shows off moves like lightning kick and somersault kick, emphasizing his dynamic style. His section points out the versatility added by combinations and the effectiveness of his new switch step stance change. Kagemaru makes another appearance, presenting different ninja techniques compared to the previous page, including spinning kick and ground skitter. The commentary highlights the strength of his individual moves and the tricky nature of his arsenal in VF3. Finally, Sarah Bryant is profiled, showcasing her sharp kicking style. Featured moves include side hook kick and the powerful dragon cannon. The text emphasizes the strength of her kicks and the usefulness of specific single attacks like dragon cannon for damage, while also noting her increased combination potential in VF3. The next page continues the deep dive into Virtua Fighter 3's cast, presenting Lao Chan, Wolf Hawkfield, Pai Chan, and Jeffrey McWild. Lao Chan's section features his portrait and screenshots, showcasing his various strikes, powerful air combos, and new throws. The text highlights his ability to juggle opponents and the addition of potent new throwing techniques to his already strong offensive game. Next is Wolf Hawkfield, with his portrait and images demonstrating his wrestling techniques, including ground attacks and high kicks. The commentary emphasizes the significant expansion of his throwing options and combination attacks, noting his powerful throws are as effective as ever. Pai Chan's profile shows her portrait and screenshots of her dynamic kicking attacks and a throw. The text describes her flashy and strong kicking style, her speed advantage, and how her moves can break opponent guards. It also points out her expanded combo possibilities and new throws, making her a versatile character. Finally, Jeffrey McWild is featured, With his portrait and screenshots of his strikes and throws, the commentary highlights his significantly increased combination attacks and a wider range of options through delays and throws. It notes a major strategic shift due to the removal of his automatic two-hit attacks. The next page continues the deep dive into Virtua Fighter 3, showcasing more characters and their abilities, alongside content for Virtua Fighter Kids. First up is Lion Rafal, featured with his portrait and screenshots demonstrating his updated moveset, including new combination attacks. The text highlights his focus on mid-range attacks and versatile options, making him a character with numerous strategies. A table detailing his moves is also present. Shun Dai is also profiled, displaying his portrait and screenshots of his dynamic drunken-style techniques and new combos. The commentary notes his unpredictable movements and powerful throws, with a summary of his move list available. The page also announces a combo-making contest for Virtua Fighter Kids, inviting players to create and submit their own original air combos. The judging criteria focus on strength, creativity, coolness, and humor, with original t-shirts offered as prizes for winning entries. The submission deadline is noted as September 13th. Additionally, there's a separate prize giveaway for a Virtua Fighter 3 poster and a full set of Virtua Fighter Kids plushies. Finally, a section features fan-submitted artwork related to the Virtua Fighter series. Enemy Zero is an upcoming adventure game developed and published by Warp, set for a December release on 4 Seeds. The game, priced at 6,800 yen, features a unique blend of movie sequences and real-time polygon graphics, with sound as the key to defeating enemies. Development was about 50% complete by late August. News from the Tokyo Game Show reveals the game's scriptwriter Kenji Ino, and confirms the game runs on Saturn hardware with near-identical movie sequences to the development machine, indicating progress. Director Kenji Ino is optimistic, reporting program issues resolved and finishing touches underway. Screenshots showcase various environments, including corridors, a data room, and a workshop. The game features Laura, the protagonist, along with other crew members like Parker and Kimball. The game will evolve from early themes of fear and isolation into later sections involving interaction and conversation with other characters. This page highlights more features of Enemy Zero, detailing the technical achievements and gameplay mechanics. It emphasizes the smooth, real-time polygon scrolling that allows for unrestricted movement, achieved by overcoming prior clipping issues. The page also discusses the enemy AI, which is still under development but aims for complex, thought-provoking behavior rather than simple action. Director Kenji Ino points out that the goal is for enemies to surprise the player, making battles more strategic. Furthermore, the game boasts seamless transitions between pre-rendered movie sequences and real-time graphics, a technical feat made possible by the Saturn's fast access speed and a new programming approach, which Ino states is a significant improvement over previous work. Finally, the page touches on the in-game network system, which Laura can use to gather information, bypass traps, and potentially interact with others, showing names like Parker and Laura on the network screen. The full utility of this network is still being refined. This page highlights 2 Sega arcade classics making their way to the Sega Saturn. The left side features Afterburner 2, the renowned 3D shooting game where you become a fighter pilot engaging in intense dogfights. The port faithfully reproduces the arcade experience with smooth scaling graphics, offering thrilling missile launches and Vulcan cannon action. You'll fly through varied stages, from oceans to mountains, and even encounter bonus stages reminiscent of other classic Sega titles like Outrun and Hangin'. The Saturn version adds support for the mission stick and multi-controller, as well as an auto-Vulcan option for easier play. The right side showcases Outrun, Sega's original arcade driving game masterpiece. This port fully captures the exhilaration of the open road, allowing you to select your favorite BGM and race through beautiful, branching courses across diverse landscapes like beaches, forests, and cities, all while aiming to reach the checkpoint in time. The Saturn release is particularly notable for including both the original arcade version and the Japanese Saturn/Mega Drive version. It features faithfully reproduced BGM arrangements and includes the arcade's gear change mechanic, though an auto mode is also available, along with multi-controller support for an authentic driving feel. This page features the Sega Saturn RPG, Albert Odyssey, Legend of Eldian, highlighted with character art and screenshots showing exploration and battle scenes. It announces the game is now on sale, priced at 6,500 yen, excluding tax, and mentions special first-run bonuses and a campaign offering a chance to win original goods. There's also information about joining the Sunsoft fan club and recruitment opportunities. The other major section presents the Ranking Street feature, specifically the Saturn Sales Ranking. This segment analyzes game sales based on reader input and data. While the overall market hasn't seen a huge surge recently, games like DocuSaif and Albert Odyssey, Legend of Eldian are noted in the rankings. The feature discusses sales trends and mentions upcoming titles like Fighting Vipers as ones to watch. This section, dubbed the Earth King Corner, promises extensive data and information for readers.
This page is a dedicated reader interaction and entry form, serving as a gateway for Saturn fans to connect with the magazine. It's split into sections allowing submissions for various columns like the popular Ranking Street and the Game Research Lab, showing the magazine values reader input on their gaming experiences and opinions. Below that is the entry form for the number 19 Readers Present campaign, a chance for readers to win prizes. It includes standard fields for personal details and a section to rank desired gifts from a list numbered 1 through 18, indicating a substantial prize pool is available. There is also a game results table, where players can submit their best scores or achievements for a range of titles, highlighting the competitive spirit within the community. Games featured for results submissions include notable Saturn releases like Panzer Dragoon Saga, the intense fighter Fighting Vipers, the puzzle classic Tetris Plus, the atmospheric shooter Alien Trilogy, and the challenging action of titles related to ghouls and ghosts, listed as Arthur and Astaroth's Mysterious Makai Mura, alongside sports, racing, and other diverse genres. This page is crucial for gathering reader feedback and running promotions, directly engaging the magazine's audience.
This page features the highly anticipated Ranking Street segment, presenting the results of reader surveys. Dominating the list is Tokimeki Memorial, securing an impressive third place in the all-time rankings, showcasing its immense popularity. The main table details the top games based on reader votes, providing overall scores and various rating breakdowns. Games like Virtua Fighter Kids, Greatest 996, and Saturn Bomberman also feature prominently in the top ranks. The page dedicates significant space to Tokimeki Memorial as the number 1 game, highlighting its high favorable rating from readers. Sections titled Sweet Whispers and Hot Murmurs compiled diverse reader feedback, reflecting both overwhelming praise for the game's emotional depth and character interactions, as well as some critiques regarding gameplay mechanics or technical aspects. Various individual reader comments offer personal perspectives, discussing their experiences with the game, comparisons to other versions, and the impact the characters and story had on them. Finally, a brief note from Konami expresses gratitude to the readers for the game's success on the Saturn platform. This page continues the Ranking Street feature, highlighting the games that followed the top spot. Coming in at number 2 is Virtua Fighter Kids, a charming spin-off known for its super-deformed characters and simplified, yet still deep, Virtua Fighter gameplay designed to be accessible. Reader feedback, though mixed with a 67% favorable rating, often praised the character designs and engaging short play sessions, while some found the gameplay adjustments too basic. Third place goes to Greatest 996, a baseball simulation that scored 70% favorable. Players appreciated the realistic feel, improved player creation, and dynamic camera work compared to previous entries, enjoying the strategic depth of building a team and competing in tense matches. Rounding out the top rankings at number 4 is Saturn Bomberman, receiving a respectable 67% favorable score. This entry is celebrated for its explosive party gameplay, supporting a massive 10 players simultaneously. Reviews highlighted the fun items and Chow Shoutic screen action, making it a standout multiplayer experience, though some felt aspects like the single-player modes could be improved. Overall, these games demonstrate the diverse range of popular titles on the Saturn at the time, from fighting and sports to ultimate party games. The Ranking Street countdown continues, showcasing Saturn titles. Boost-A-Move 2X takes 5th place, lauded for its addictive puzzle gameplay. Road Rash secures 6th, praised for its fast-paced motorcycle combat, with updates planned.
7th is Shoryu Sengoku Engi, a strategy simulation game appreciated for its depth. Jiku Tante DD Gen no Lorelei lands in 8th, despite mixed reviews regarding story pacing. Mahjong Kyojidai Cebu Island 96 comes in 9th, with suggestive content being its main draw. Finally, Pradal Disc Volume 1 Yukinoshita is listed, focusing on idle content. The page also features a reader review contest and previews future game reviews. This page continues the Ranking Street feature, covering various Saturn rankings and reviews. The main section highlights the Saturn Soft Extra Review,
focusing on Baku Baku Animal and Puyo Puyo 2. Reviewers share their thoughts on Baku Baku Animal, noting its simple yet addictive puzzle gameplay and charming visuals. For Puyo Puyo 2, multiple perspectives are offered, discussing the port quality, the core puzzle mechanics, and specific modes like Logic Puzzle Rainbow Town. The reviews generally praise the puzzle aspects while touching on minor critiques. There's also a request for reader reviews on older software. Below this, the popularity and transplant hope ranking sections are presented. The main popularity chart lists the current top 30 games based on reader votes. Sakura Wars holds the top spot, followed by Street Fighter 02 and Tokimeki Memorial. The Transplant Hope ranking shows which arcade or other console games readers want to see ported to the Saturn, with Resident Evil ranking highest. This page provides a good mix of current game reviews and reader-driven rankings, offering a snapshot of popular and anticipated titles on the Saturn platform. This page continues the Ranking Street feature, presenting the real-time game ranking based on reader surveys. It highlights the significant event of Tokimeki Memorial Forever, with you debuting strongly at number 2, just behind the reigning champion, Virtua Fighter 2. The accompanying text notes how this strong debut has shifted the top ranks and questions if the Tokimeki Memorial era is truly beginning. The ranking system is explained as being based on reader postcards, awarding points for votes on games released up to July 26th, with a new system also incorporating points for older software. While Virtua Fighter 2 holds onto the top spot, the list shows a dynamic marketplace with titles like Nobunaga's Ambition, Shousei Roku, Vandal Hearts, and Nights into Dreams, also ranking high. This comprehensive chart provides a snapshot of the most popular games among readers at the time. This page features the Game Research Institute, a section dedicated to helping players conquer challenging games. This installment dives into the Great Demon World Village mode found within Puzzle and Action, Taunter. This mode, themed after the legendary Ghouls Un Ghost series and featuring characters like Arthur and Astaroth, presents a series of item-based puzzles across 35 tricky stages. The guide is designed for beginners and intermediate players, offering fundamental strategies such as understanding how items move, confirming their effects, and paying close attention to precise placement. It provides a complete strategy guide for all 35 stages, detailing the correct item actions and placements needed to clear each one, while also warning players about misleading decoy items. Screenshots highlight specific stages, offering visual cues for the solutions. This page provides a strategy guide for the Ghouls and Ghost-themed mode in Puzzle and Action, Tantor, focusing on item puzzles and stage solutions. This page dives into the world of Sega game development and strategy. A major part features a detailed guide for a game called Heartbeat Scramble, laying out character schedules and locations for every day of the year, essential for finding girls and friends within the game world. It even includes strategies for chasing the girl you like, and highlights strong events to watch out for. The main event is the Sega CS Development Diary Volume 5, where the R&D department gives us a peek behind the curtain. This issue poses an interesting question. Do developers play the games they make? They interview staff, including the poetically named O-Key, who shares insights on the nature of play and work in development. Another segment asks developers about their favorite games. The page also includes a call for reader questions for the developers, and a giveaway featuring items related to games like Panzer Dragoon Saga and Streets of Rage. There's also a small section discussing the fate of the greatest choice, seemingly related to in-game purchases or resources like buying a bike. The next page presents a dual focus, catering to fans of both classic Japanese heroes and intense fighting game action on the Sega Saturn. On the left, we see a large feature dedicated to an Ultraman database title for the Sega Saturn. This game appears to be a comprehensive look into the iconic franchise, celebrating 30 years of the hero. It's structured into 5 stages or sections, including Ultra World, Monsters World, detailing 126 monsters, and Stories Digest, covering Ultraman 39 and Ultra 749 episodes. There are also sections specifically for Ultraman and Ultra 7, promising details on everything from height to special moves. It's presented as a must-have data collection for any Ultraman enthusiast. The right side shifts gears completely, offering the first installment of a continuous battle strategy guide for the Sega Saturn version of Street Fighter Alpha 2. Announced as finally complete for the Saturn, this guide kicks off with an in-depth analysis of the game's system, covering basic battle tactics and essential special move commands for all 18 characters. It even teases original elements unique to the Saturn release.
A screenshot shows Ryu facing off against Akuma, setting the stage for the strategic breakdown to come. This is clearly positioned as an essential read for players looking to master Capcom's acclaimed fighter on Sega's console. This page continues the deep dive into Street Fighter Alpha 2 for the Sega Saturn, focusing on the significant changes and new systems compared to the previous game. It starts by highlighting the biggest new feature, the original combo system, known internationally as the custom combo. This powerful technique allows players to unleash devastating sequences by chaining normal and special moves as long as the super combo gauge lasts. The guide also points out changes to the zero combo, alpha combo system, suggesting it's either gone or fundamentally altered. In its place, the zero counter, alpha counter system has evolved, now featuring two distinct types, one triggered by punch and another by kick, each with different properties. Further system changes covered include adjustments to the auto guard mode and detailed explanations of how the super combo gauge fills and its strategic uses. Various screenshots illustrate these points, showing characters like Ryu, Ken, and Guy demonstrating the mechanics, such as attack cancels, alpha counters, and custom combos. The page emphasizes the importance of understanding these new systems for mastering the game, discussing tactical applications for super combos, and when alpha counters are most effective, like escaping pressure or countering specific attacks. This guide explores the strategic depth of Street Fighter Alpha 2, focusing on the down escape mechanic and handling failed custom combos. Down escapes allow players to quickly recover from knockdowns using button inputs, weak, medium, strong, dictating the escape distance. However, certain powerful attacks like super combos and custom combos are inescapable. The guide also provides strategies for dealing with failed custom combos, suggesting canceling into specials or supers after a blocked starter, or using specific character moves to recover from a cross-up. Finally, it highlights exclusive features in the Sega Saturn version, including an illustrations mode with extensive artwork, plus training and survival modes. Survival mode, akin to the Alpha Arcade update, challenges players to defeat the entire roster with limited health regeneration. Screenshots showcase characters like Ryu, Ken, and Sakura, demonstrating the techniques and modes. This page provides a character guide for Street Fighter Alpha 2, offering basic strategy and special move command lists for several fighters. Featured prominently are Dalsim, Zangief, Sakura, Rolento, Gen, and Ryu, each with dedicated sections including character art and screenshots of their techniques in action. The guide details the command inputs for each character's unique abilities, such as Dalsim's long-range yoga attacks, Zangief's powerful grappling moves like the screw pile driver, Ryu's classic Hadoken and Shoryuken, Sakura's rushdown style, Rolento's weapon-based combat, and Gen's distinct martial arts stances. It serves as a quick reference for players to understand each character's strengths and how to execute their key moves. The next page continues the in-depth character guide for Street Fighter Alpha 2, spotlighting several more iconic fighters from the roster. This spread features prominent sections dedicated to Ryu, Ken, Chun-Li, Atadan, Birdie, Sagat, and Guy. Each character is presented with dynamic artwork, strategic tips on their playstyle and optimal tactics, and vibrant screenshots showcasing their signature attacks and special moves in action. Crucially, detailed command lists are provided for each fighter, outlining the button inputs required to execute their unique abilities, such as Ryu's Hadoken, Ken's Shoryuken variations, Chun-Li's Hyakuretsukaku, Adan's Jagged Kick, Sagat's Tiger Shots and Tiger Uppercut, Birdie's Bullhead, and Guy's Bushin Ryu techniques. The guide serves as a valuable resource for players looking to master the diverse fighting styles available in the game. This page continues the comprehensive character breakdown for Street Fighter Alpha 2, focusing on 6 more distinct fighters. We see detailed sections for Sodom, Charlie, M. Bison, Rose, Akuma, and Dan. Each character is presented with striking artwork, strategic insights into their fighting style, and multiple screenshots illustrating their signature moves in action. The guide offers valuable tactical advice for mastering each character's strengths and countering opponents. For instance, it highlights M. Bison's projectile and mobility options, Charlie's versatile charge moves, and Akuma's powerful, aggressive style. As with the previous characters, full command lists for their special moves are included, providing the button inputs necessary to execute their unique techniques, like Charlie's Sonic Boom and Somersault Shell, M. Bison's Psycho Shot and Head Press, and Akuma's Masatsu Goshoryu. This serves as an essential reference for players delving deep into the roster. This page delves into the tactical combat system of Langrisser 2, featured in the RPG Big 6 collection. It focuses on analyzing the flow of battle from the opening scenarios. The artwork showcases the main protagonists, including Elwyn, Liana, Cherie, and Lana. The guide breaks down the core battle mechanics, detailing the 8 commands available during combat, which allow players to control their units. These commands cover essential actions, such as movement across the terrain, casting magic for offense or support, using items, summoning powerful allies, executing special character skills, healing injured units, adjusting unit formations, and changing unit modes like high speed or guard. Strategic positioning and understanding the terrain are highlighted as critical for success. Before each scenario, players must undertake important preparation steps. This involves hiring various types of mercenaries to form their army, purchasing items and equipment from a shop to enhance character abilities, and strategically deploying their units on the map based on the terrain to gain a tactical advantage. The guide emphasizes that mastering both the preparation phase and the in-battle commands is key to navigating the challenges of Langrisser 2's scenarios. Numerous screenshots throughout the page illustrate these menus, battle maps, and character details. This page continues the guide for Langrisser 2, detailing the early scenarios and their objectives. Despite the confusing Langrisser 2I title at the top, the content clearly focuses on Langrisser 2's tactical gameplay. The page walks players through scenarios 1 through 8, outlining the specific victory conditions for each battle. It explains how these conditions can vary, sometimes requiring the total annihilation of the enemy, while other times offering alternative paths to success, such as reaching a specific point on the map or defeating a key enemy commander like Glob, Gale, Flare, or Doc Carney. Screenshots throughout the page showcase the battle maps, character portraits during dialogue sequences featuring characters like Elwyn, Cherie, and Luna, and snippets of the in-game conversation that provide context for the scenario. The text highlights strategic points, such as managing allied NPC units, protecting civilians, utilizing terrain, dealing with reinforcements, and understanding when to fight or when to retreat. The guide emphasizes that mastering these varied objectives and adapting tactics is crucial for progressing through Langrisser 2's challenging early stages. This page provides a detailed guide for navigating the initial ship stage in the Sega Saturn action RPG Dark Savior. The guide emphasizes that the time taken to clear this stage is crucial, as it determines which of the game's branching scenarios, known as parallels, the player will experience. The focus is on finding the optimal and shortest routes through different sections of the ship, including the food storage, bow, library, game room, deck, cargo bay, and areas outside the ship. Illustrated maps show the paths to take within each room, highlighting shortcuts and specific maneuvers like dashes and jumps that can save precious seconds. For instance, the cargo bay section specifically points out a hidden passage accessed by moving an orange container, which is essential for the shortest route. The guide culminates in the captain's room, where a table indicates the clear time required to access each parallel. Under 3 minutes leads to parallel 2I, 3 o'clock to 3:59 leads to parallel 2, and 4 o'clock or more leads to parallel I. Screenshots display the game's isometric viewpoint, showing the protagonist Galarian interacting with the environment and navigating obstacles. The guide serves as a strategic walkthrough for players aiming to reach specific game branches, or simply trying to achieve the fastest clear time possible on this complex level. This page continues the strategy guide for Dark Savior, focusing on overcoming challenging traps and puzzles encountered in various stages after the initial ship level. The guide details tactics for different areas, referred to as attack points. Specific sections covered include the underground mine, discussing timing for navigating platforms and throwing boxes to open paths. It also covers the ancient lava flow ruins pots, outlining methods for dealing with traps like finding hidden items in pots, riding, moving dragons, and pushing pillars to create bridges. The guide moves on to the Undercity, explaining how to solve number or symbol puzzles to reveal hidden exits. Further points cover Caporal's Tower, mentioning obtaining the Word Note item, which reveals boss weaknesses, and culminates in the Silver Pass Castle, the final stage where the player confronts the boss Bailan. The guide uses several isometric screenshots from the game to illustrate the locations of traps and the required actions. A flowchart at the bottom maps out the game's progression path through the various stages, linking them to the specific attack points detailed on the page, serving as a comprehensive walkthrough for players stuck on these difficult sections in the different parallels. This page delves into the intricate strategy needed to conquer Dark Savior's challenging Parallel 2. The guide highlights areas demanding precise action, starting with the traps and switches in the Kilbali area. It provides detailed steps for navigating Dexcalibur Castle to rescue Coco, involving specific actions like using plates and elevators. The underground mine is revisited, with advice on camera control for difficult platforming sections, and Goldova's tower is covered, detailing the puzzles involving pressure plates to reveal the correct path. Finally, the notoriously difficult Silver Pass Castle is discussed, showing tactics for the boss battle against Culturgen. Visuals include isometric screenshots of the game's environments and action sequences. A clear flowchart maps out the entire progression for Parallel 2, underscoring how the ending drastically changes based on your journey through this specific path. This page dives into the world of Lunar Silver Star Story, previewing key events and locations from the middle portion of the game. It highlights the vast world beyond the starting island, focusing on the Katarina continent. Featured locations include the bustling trade city of Maribia, described as the continent's largest, and run by Jessica's father, one of the 4 heroes. The mysterious floating city of Vane is also showcased, detailed as the training ground for young mages, and home to the powerful Magic Guild, led by figures like Galeon and Mia's mother, Lemina. The preview combines isometric screenshots of these vibrant locations with stunning anime cutscene stills. Several anime moments are teased, showing protagonists like Alex, Luna, Jess, Mia, and Ramus reacting to unfolding events, emphasizing Luna's heartwarming smile. The page also introduces the game's formidable antagonists, revealing the true purpose of the Magic Emperor and Zenobia. Zenobia is presented as a captivating yet terrifying leader of the Demon Tribe, hinting at her significant role and connection to the story's core mysteries, especially involving Galeon and the Magic Guild. This preview effectively builds anticipation for the challenges and revelations awaiting the heroes. This page focuses on Far East of Eden, the Apocalypse IV, presented as part of the RPG Big 6 Collection 4. It highlights unique gameplay systems beyond the main scenario mode. One key feature is the Dad Long Legs system, where players can interact with and give gifts to 3 specific female students at the school that appears as the town develops. These interactions can lead to thank you letters and special events tied to the in-game calendar. The page introduces the 3 students involved: Anne, Jenny, and Arissa, each with distinct personalities. Another significant system is the American Dream system, which allows players to invest in the town's development, transforming it into a major city resembling Las Vegas. This includes the addition of casinos, where players can gamble through games like poker, roulette, and blackjack, or engage in stock trading to increase their funds. The page also reveals the inclusion of animated movies, totaling over 20 minutes, which emphasize horror themes. Visuals from the opening movie and other cutscenes, such as a haunted mansion, a skull, and skeletal figures associated with a parade of death, are shown, hinting at the game's darker elements. This page delves into the later stages of Albert Odyssey, Legend of Eldian, guiding players through the story from the midpoint towards the endgame, highlighting the acquisition of the all-important airship. It details the next steps in the adventure after the events in Mimescent, focusing on returning to the town of Shastoria to check on the situation following Darner's apparent death and the actions of the Goat King. The party discovers a plot involving a fake elder and must investigate, leading them to rescue the real elder who is being held captive in a circus house. This culminates in a significant boss battle against both Ram, a powerful Minotaur, and the imposter elder. Defeating them allows the party to progress, visiting the town of Agunas, which is shown undamaged, before heading back to Mimescent. There, the completed airship, named Cornelius, is ready, finally granting the party the ability to fly and explore the world freely as they push towards the story's conclusion. The page provides statistics for the boss encounter and shows the world map highlighting key locations. This page dives into Dragon Master Silk, an intriguing RPG previewed based on its Tokyo Game Show demo room. The feature highlights the game's system, introduces key characters like Silk, aka Ado, and Ki, with screenshots of event scenes, and even offers a glimpse into the voice acting process. The preview teases a mix of lighthearted and potentially serious moments in the event sequences. We also get a look at some menacing enemy characters appearing from the darkness. The fun section shows character design sketches, revealing different forms or concepts for characters like Ki the Rabbit, a potential magician, Uji,
Sheila, and Rinko, alongside a muscular enemy design. The magazine presents this as an RPG, with unique characters and a promising blend of humor and drama. This page continues exploring Dragon Master Silk, focusing on its gameplay mechanics and characters. Dungeon traversal is highlighted, showing off not just standard movement but also dashing and jumping to overcome obstacles in full 8 directions within the 3D environments. The helpful auto-mapping system is always visible, making navigation straightforward. The battle scenes are described as dynamic, with fully animated monsters, each rendered individually and constantly moving. Players can adjust battle speed and toggle AI for their party members. A unique profile system affects the personality and physical appearance of companion spirit dragons, like Abayo and Ki, even changing their size. The mysterious character Narrated is also introduced, appearing in different forms. The page concludes with an interview featuring the game's voice cast, including notable actors like Noriko Hidaka and Minami Takayama, sharing their thoughts on the characters and the game's unique charm. This page features an advertisement on the left for the Sega Saturn game Horned Casino. This 18-plus adult casino simulation boasts 3D sound and features various casino games like poker, blackjack, roulette, and more, accompanied by fantasy character art and the game's box art. It was set for release on September 27th. The right side hosts the Conehead Club, a community corner for readers. The free section presents personal stories and opinions from readers, dubbed Cone Kids. They share their gaming experiences and thoughts, discussing titles like the Ogre Battle series, expressing interest in Final Fantasy Tactics, a PS1 title, and recounting experiences with Virtua Fighter 2, including tournament participation. The page also includes a small comic strip section titled Manga de Go. This page continues the Cornhead Club Readers Corner, starting with the Corn Kids Network board, where readers respond to previous topics. Comments range from searching for fellow gamer friends to discussing opinions on game reviews and the excitement of getting the latest Saturn games on release day. Below that, the AM2 Ken Freak section focuses on Sega's AM2 division, featuring reader enthusiasm for their games like Virtual On, with fan art including Sega's Pepsi Man mascot and a character from Virtua Cop. The We Are Supporters section is dedicated to Dragon Force fans, showcasing reader illustrations of characters like Junion and Leon and expressing love for the game. Finally, the Overflow Review Kids section presents reader reviews of games not covered in the main charts. Highlights include a positive review of the trial version of Mobile Suit Gundam Side Story 1, The Blue Destiny, praising its animation, and a review of the arcade game Virtua Striker, calling it the best soccer game and expressing hope for a Saturn port. The Manga de Go comic strip finishes the page with a look at Virtua Fighter 3. The next page continues the Reader's Corner with various fan sections. The Tokimeki Memorial Fan Club features readers discussing their experiences and favorite characters from the dating simulation game, including fan art showing popular pairings and scenes. Next, the Tiny Illustration Gallery showcases a small collection of fan art, including characters from various games. The Cornhead Club Reader Q&A section answers questions submitted by fans about the magazine and potentially upcoming Saturn releases, including profiles of 2 magazine staff members, AJJI and Momo. There's also a dedicated section for fans of Nights into Dreams, where readers share their impressions of the game, recount memorable experiences, and submit fan art depicting knights and the Nightopians. The page concludes with a visual, encouraging readers to send in their submissions. This Sega Saturn news update features diverse happenings. A Puyo Puyo tournament for players aged 60+ in Asakusa celebrated respect for the aged day. The editorial team participated in a Psychic Force X tournament in Shibuya. Nights into Dreams. Purchasers get a special carrying pouch for the game and multi-controller. A Sega Saturn-shaped softcase is available to hold up to 10 game discs. A Name Club service offers personalized, game-themed business cards. Recommended music grids include Ann Lewis's Cyberdoll single and a Konami compilation. Finally, there's a reader giveaway offering prizes like soundtracks, t-shirts, posters, and caps from various games. This page features a deep dive into the upcoming simulation game based on the epic space opera, Legend of the Galactic Heroes, for the Saturn. This section is aimed at fans of the series and newcomers alike, providing a corner to learn more about the grand story and significant history of this universe. Character introductions are key, highlighting the main rivals, the brilliant military genius Reinhard von Lohengramm, and his loyal friend Siegfried Kircheiss from the Galactic Empire,
facing off against the strategic wizard Yang Wenli and his adopted son Julian Mintz from the Free Planets Alliance. There are also charming illustrations depicting interactions between some of the characters. Additionally, the page presents a comprehensive database listing all Sega Saturn software and peripherals released up to August 30, 1996, categorized by genre. This page continues the deep dive into the Sega Saturn's extensive library, presenting a comprehensive database of games organized neatly by genre. Here, you'll find categorized lists covering a wide array of titles released up to August 1996. The Adventure section highlights diverse experiences, like the classic puzzle game Myst. Simulation fans can browse titles including Strategic Depth, with games like SimCity 2000. The shooting genre showcases some of the Saturn's finest arcade ports and exclusives, featuring legends like Virtua Cop, Panzer Dragoon, and the Intense Layer section. Sports enthusiasts have a variety to choose from, such as FIFA Soccer and NBA Jam. Finally, the race genre delivers high-octane speed with arcade powerhouses like Daytona USA and Sega Rally Championship. Each entry provides valuable details like the publisher, release date, and even player rankings, painting a clear picture of the system's diverse offerings at the time. This page continues the comprehensive Sega Saturn database, delving into more genres and the system's extensive peripheral lineup. The database covers releases up to August 1996, offering a detailed look at the available software and hardware. Here you'll find entries for puzzle games, featuring titles like the classic Wipeout, Puyo Puyo 2, and Bomberman Panic Bomber, showcasing the Saturn's strength in diverse puzzle experiences. The table game section lists various traditional board and card games. The simulation category includes interesting entries, notably the Virtua Fighter CG Portrait Collection series, which offers character data and visuals, alongside other simulation titles. The Mahjong section is substantial, reflecting the genre's popularity in Japan. Beyond the software, the page provides a valuable overview of Sega Saturn peripherals. It tells various control pads, arcade sticks from different manufacturers, and alternative input devices like mice and keyboards, highlighting the system's versatility. Further peripherals include memory cards, modems, and video cables, giving players options for storage, online connectivity, and visual output. This database provides a fantastic snapshot of the thriving Saturn ecosystem at the time. This page is dedicated to the readers, featuring a survey and a present giveaway. The magazine is actively soliciting feedback from its audience on their reading habits, gaming preferences, and opinions on the content of this issue and the Sega Saturn platform itself. Readers are encouraged to fill out a detailed questionnaire covering topics like their age, occupation, other magazines they read, gaming platforms they own, and games they are interested in buying or have played. They are also asked to rate articles and software featured in the magazine and provide suggestions for future content. In return for their participation, readers have a chance to win prizes. The main prizes are copies of Sega Saturn software titles, including popular games like Sakura Wars, Sega Ages, Afterburner 2, Myst, Yura, Romance of the Three Kingdoms V, Real Bout Fatal Fury, and Starfighter 3000. There are also goods like a telephone card, featuring artwork related to Myst. The survey references extensive lists provided on the page, detailing articles in this issue, other magazines, various gaming platforms, and a very long list of Sega Saturn software titles, continuing the database from previous pages. Instructions on how to fill out the application postcard correctly are also provided to ensure entries are processed properly. This page presents information about the Computer Koiland Umland Tokyo Game Designer Academy on the left, highlighting various game creation courses offered, from design and scenario writing to programming, art, sound, and multimedia. It also features success stories from students who found jobs in the industry, and details an open house event for prospective students in 1997. On the right, the page features the third part of a strategy guide for the game Dukyusei If. This section focuses on progressing in the adventure game, aiming to conquer the girls and reach all the endings and events. It includes several character illustrations and a small screenshot from the game, providing hints for triggering specific events within the game's systems. A small table provides basic game information, such as genre, platform, NEC interchannel, price, and release date. This page continues the strategy guide for Dukyusei If,
presenting a complete release of the game's field maps. It offers detailed layouts of Yabuki Town and Sakimake Town, highlighting numerous key locations like parks, restaurants, residences, shops, and the train station, each marked with a number corresponding to a list below the map. Complementing these town maps is a comprehensive map of Sakimake Academy, showing the floor plans for each level, including classrooms, the staff room, infirmary, and other facilities. The guide also provides crucial advice on navigating the game world and managing in-game time, specifying the time cost for movement between areas, entering buildings, and moving within the school. The emphasis is on using these maps to plan routes efficiently, avoid getting lost, and prevent wasting precious time visiting locations where no events are scheduled. This section provides essential geographical and timing information to help players successfully progress through the game and trigger desired events. The next page continues the strategy guide for Dukusei If, shifting focus from maps to specific advice for romancing individual characters. The guide checks important points for tackling each girl's route. It covers key heroines like Mai Sakuragi, highlighting her event triggers, and explains the approach needed for characters who are harder to meet, such as Masumi Hori, emphasizing that consistent effort is required despite fewer events. The guide also details strategies for Miho Suzuki, noting the importance of paying attention to her actions and interactions, especially with her sister. Other characters featured include Kyoko Sakuragi, detailing her relationship with Mai and key date events, Midori Takano, described as requiring proactive effort due to limited meeting opportunities, Mako Saito, whose route is tied to her sister and events in the infirmary, and Kurumi Nishina, whose interactions often involve her friend and require careful responses. Each character section includes several screenshots, illustrating critical moments or locations in their respective routes. The overall focus is on navigating character-specific events and dialogue choices to achieve a successful playthrough for each girl. This page provides an in-depth look at finding all the graphical events within Dukusei If, noting that many can be missed depending on player choices. It emphasizes that selecting the right dialogue options and taking specific actions is crucial for unlocking every scene and seeing all the characters' visuals. The guide details events tied to the Quiz Brothers, explaining that correct answers lead to special graphics, including revealing moments for certain characters. It also highlights content unique to the Sega Saturn version, featuring side stories for characters like Midori Takano and Satomi Kurokawa. These original events are described as adding significant backstory and drama, but require careful navigation to trigger. The page underscores that experiencing all of the game's content means exploring different paths and sometimes taking unexpected actions to see how character relationships develop. This page presents a detailed manic strategy guide for maximizing enjoyment in the dating simulation game Tokimeki Memorial, Forever With You. It outlines a 3-year plan focused on achieving specific goals within the game's timeline. The primary objectives highlighted are ensuring all potential love interests appear by the start of the 2nd year, successfully avoiding negative relationship outcomes like bombs, and ultimately receiving a confession at the game's conclusion. The guide breaks down the strategy year by year, offering advice on balancing the main character's parameters through various school and extracurricular activities, while managing relationships with the game's many heroines, with a particular focus on Shiori Fujisaki. It illustrates the typical flow of events and challenges encountered, including the difficulty of becoming too popular, and the consequences that follow. Screenshots show key moments and the character status screen. A lengthy section details the specific commands to execute month by month over the 3 years, illustrating a rigorous schedule of studying, exercising, resting, and dating, aimed at optimizing stats and relationships. It also touches upon unique elements, like the rival character Yoshio getting his own girlfriend, and the iconic ending scene under the legendary tree. This page dives into dedicated strategies for minigames found within Tokimeki Memorial, specifically focusing on the shooting challenges. It then shifts gears to provide in-depth guides for 2 Sega Saturn shooting games, Twin Bee Time Attack and Scythe. The Tokimeki Memorial section briefly mentions the minigames are challenging shooters, included as bonus content. The main focus is on Twin Bee Time Attack, which features bosses from the classic Twin Bee series. The guide details tactics for defeating each of the 4 bosses, including Bronco, Fenglong, Hidetake Ton Grabo, and Inigo, highlighting their weak points and attack patterns. It also explains the bell item system and their effects, such as changing shot type or speed. The key is efficient boss destruction for better times. Next up is Scythe, a Saturn original horizontal shooter. The guide emphasizes developing your option satellites, which level up through combat and affect your attack power and coverage. The core mechanic revolves around managing ship speed, slow, normal, fast, which alters the option's movement patterns. The guide provides tips for each of the 4 stages and the multi-phase boss, stressing the importance of growing your options for higher scores and survival. Finally, a section introduces Ultech, special techniques or secrets, for both games. For Twin B Time Attack, it mentions a specific command for a powerful mode using Twin B and Gwyn B. For Scythe, it refers to Himitsu, or secrets, obtained by reaching 5 million points, unlocking 22 types of minigames and options. The next page delves deeper into the world of Tokimeki Memorial, focusing on various minigames and interactions with rival characters. It details minigames available during festival dates, such as the classic goldfish scooping and the Sega Saturn exclusive ring toss, offering tips for success. The page then moves on to the sports day events, covering spoon race, obstacle course, 3-legged race, and the 100 meters dash, explaining the mechanics and strategies for each. Beyond the minigames, there's a significant section dedicated to the protagonist's wealthy and arrogant rival, Rei Ijuint. It explores the possibility of befriending him and reveals secrets about his mysterious servant, Sotoi. A key interaction involves repeatedly calling Ijuin, which triggers different conversations and events depending on the number of calls, potentially altering the dynamic between the protagonist and this rival character.
This page presents a guide to Dynasty Wars, the classic beat-em-up based on the romance of the 3 kingdoms. The focus is on clearing the game without using continues and strategies for the first 4 stages, including tips for dealing with bosses. It highlights tactics like pushing enemies off-screen for easy defeat, and specific approaches for bosses in stages like Hakuho Slope and Changeban Bridge. The guide then delves into character-specific techniques, detailing unique moves and tactics for each of the 5 playable heroes: Guan Yu, Zhang Fei, Zhao Yun, Huang Zhong, and Wei Yan. It explains their strengths and weaknesses, such as Guan Yu's reliance on throwing enemies, Zhang Fei's powerful dash attack and grappling, Zhao Yun's aerial throws, Huang Zhong's ranged combat with his bow, and Wei Yan's versatile basic attacks and throwing techniques. Screenshots illustrate key moments and techniques discussed in the guide. This page dives into 2 very different titles. On the left, we have a comprehensive guide for Steeldom, a fast-paced 3D combat game. The breakdown covers essential tactics like using slides to evade attacks and position yourself, effectively utilizing environmental obstacles for defense or offense, and strategically deploying your boost gauge. The guide emphasizes mastering movement and evasion in this high-speed arena fighter. Below this is a section detailing character-specific special moves. It highlights unique abilities and attack types for various fighters in Steeldom, providing insight into their distinct fighting styles and optimal usage in battle. Understanding these character nuances is key to mastering the game's combat system. On the right, the focus shifts to El Hazard, the magnificent world. This section features stunning artwork of the series' iconic female characters, specifically the 4 priestesses, drawn for the game's CD jacket. It positions the game as a popular adventure title at the forefront of multimedia releases. An interesting detail is the included guide on how to use the special CD jacket, which serves as a detailed walkthrough, providing multiple ending routes, shortest paths, and key choices to help players progress quickly through the game. This page continues the El Hazard guide from the previous page on the left, outlining different story paths and critical choices players will encounter. It emphasizes decisions that affect character relationships and potential endings, building on the previous page's explanation of the CD jacket walkthrough. The main focus shifts to a continue report, announcing exciting news for Battle Arena to Shinden Yura. It proudly unveils Ron Kron, a completely new character joining the roster. She's depicted as a seemingly unassuming scientist type, with large glasses, but is revealed to be a formidable fighter who develops her own weapons, like a homemade stun gun, and explosives. Screenshots showcase the game's 3D fighting action and Rontron in combat. The announcement highlights her unique combat style, promising fresh dynamics for the already popular fighting series. The text confirms her inclusion as a significant addition to the game's lineup of 11 fighters. This page dives deep into the world of Battle Arena to Shinden Yura, following up on the previous page's introduction of the new character, Ron Pron. It showcases the 10 main fighters drawn into the game's story by fate. The page provides a brief overview of the game's plot and explains the overdrive and health gauge mechanics with accompanying screenshots. Each of the featured characters, including Eiji Shinjo, Kaina Moh, Duke B. Rambert,
Ripper, Sophia, Mondo, Ellis, Tracy, Rungo Iron, and Fofai gets a dedicated profile. These profiles include a character portrait, a short summary of their background or motivation, and multiple screenshots demonstrating their powerful special and ultimate techniques, highlighting the flashy visual style of the game's combat.
This page introduces 04 Champ Doozy J Typer, the latest entry in the drag racing series, featuring an entirely new cast and story. The game centers on 400-meter drag races as you travel across America, tuning your car to compete for the top ranking and ultimately the World Championship. The protagonist is Shinjo Kakeru, a former legendary bike racer now drawn into the world of drag racing. You'll face off against three main rivals who develop alongside Kakeru. These include the skilled American driver John Edward, the precise German racer Michael Riat, and the passionate, somewhat reckless Italian driver Faro Nani. A unique feature highlighted is the presence of 50 different endings, dependent on your performance and achievements throughout the game. The series is also known for its varied mini-games, and this installment is no exception, notably bringing back the popular RPG elements seen in previous 04 Champ titles with 3 different RPGs planned. The page includes screenshots showcasing the racing interface and some of the cars you'll race, confirming the genre as a race/simulation title coming to CD Media. This page dives deeper into 04 Champ Doozy J Typer, emphasizing the core gameplay loop of tuning real-world cars to dominate drag races. It highlights the variety of over 15 real car models available and the diverse race conditions you'll encounter across America, from differing distances to weather effects. A significant feature detailed is the partner system, allowing you to choose a partner from 8 different girls. Building affection with these partners through dating is crucial, as each girl possesses unique skills and tuning specialties. As you progress and train them, their abilities improve, offering distinct advantages in tuning different aspects of your car. The page showcases several screenshots, including the tuning interface, racing views, and scenes from dating events, illustrating the blend of racing and relationship simulation elements. The bottom section introduces each of the 8 potential partners with character art and brief bios, revealing their diverse backgrounds and personalities, hinting at the strategic choices players will need to make in selecting a partner. This page delves into Mobile Suit Gundam Side Story 0079 from the battlefield, focusing on its imminent release and revealing details about the final stages. The climactic 5th episode features a showdown against the amphibious Hygog, showcasing intense cockpit view combat where players must master dodging attacks and employing strategic maneuvers like tackles. After defeating the Hygog, the challenge escalates as 3 Dom mobile suits appear, requiring clever use of combinations and evasive tactics to overcome before reaching the ending, which teases the next volume. The article also provides insight into the game's world, confirming it's an original side story within the one-year war timeline, with new characters and a narrative driven by narration. A producer interview touches upon the development, highlighting efforts to improve the system with features like a persistent minimap and strategic 3D shooting, while hinting at future volumes potentially adding multiplayer and new mobile suits. This page presents information on 2 upcoming titles: Romance of the Three Kingdoms V and Tokimeki Memorial Puzzle Dama. The left side details Romance of the Three Kingdoms V, the 5th entry in the long-running historical simulation series. It highlights several key new systems designed to deepen gameplay. The reputation system affects command effectiveness based on your actions and governance. Domestic affairs are streamlined, with officers assigned to cities, automatically improving them monthly. A new stratagem, Incitement, allows players to stir up resistance in enemy territory. Crucially, battle formations are introduced, with 13 different types impacting troop performance in combat, adding a new layer of tactical depth. The right side covers Tokimeki Memorial Puzzle Dama, a puzzle game spin-off featuring characters from the popular dating sim, Tokimeki Memorial. The article showcases the game's charming, 2-head-tall character designs. It reveals that various girls appear randomly at the start of the game to greet you, their dialogue changing depending on the in-game time of day. Excitingly, it unveils a hidden boss, the mysterious Koararu, exclusive to the Saturn version, who appears in the Versus mode and presents a tough challenge. A special hidden ending unique to the Saturn release is also teased, tied to a specific character and an event occurring after graduation. This page features 2 continued reports. On the left, it details Gambler Jikochuha Tokyo Mahjong Land for the Sega Saturn, a mahjong game based on a popular series. The article highlights the massive roster of 56 characters included in this version, noting that each character has unique and entertaining presentations during gameplay. It also introduces new attraction movie modes, added specifically for the Saturn release. On the right, the report covers Thunder Force Gold Pack 1 for the Sega Saturn, a compilation bringing classic Mega Drive shooters to the console. This pack includes both Thunder Force 2 and Thunder Force 2i. The article emphasizes that the Saturn versions are faithful recreations of the originals, accurately reproducing their graphics, sound, and enemy attack patterns. It briefly describes Thunder Force 2 as featuring both 8-way free-scrolling and horizontal stages, while Thunder Force 2 is noted for its intense horizontal scrolling action and high difficulty, praising it as a series masterpiece. This page reports on the Tokyo Game Show '96, held at Tokyo Big Sight, highlighting a massive attendance exceeding 109,000 people over 3 days, with particularly dense crowds on the final day. The report focuses on the playable demos available, especially at the Sega booth. Sega showcased several anticipated titles, most notably Cyber Troopers Virtual On, which was playable despite being only 50% complete. The game drew immense crowds, eager to experience the arcade sensation. The event also saw the announcement and playable demos of 3 new games. Heart of Darkness, an action game from France, impressed with its seamless blend of CG movies and gameplay. Die Hard Trilogy offered 3 distinct game experiences: 3D action, racing, and gun shooting based on the movie series, supporting various controllers. Shining the Holy Ark was revealed as a 3D polygon RPG in the popular Shining series, featuring a first-person perspective for dungeon and town exploration. Other highly popular playable titles included Daytona USA Circuit Edition, featuring new courses and refined existing ones, praised for the quality of the port, and Virtua Cop 2, drawing large crowds eager for light gun action. This page continues the report on the Tokyo Game Show '96, shifting focus to the vibrant presence of third-party developers. It highlights NEC Interchannel showcasing their new titles, Duke Yusei 2 and Sentimental Graffiti, drawing enthusiastic crowds. Game Arts captivated attendees with a video demonstration of Grandia, teasing its expansive world map and advanced polygon graphics that truly impressed viewers. The Konami booth was a major attraction, largely due to the immense popularity of Tokimeki Memorial, with long lines just to see displays and promotional goods. They also featured demos of games like Police Knots. Atlas presented Purikura Operation, a game with a unique visual style, and I showcased Mobile Suit Gundam Side Story in the flash and drew attention with a display featuring Ultraman characters. Glams presented Quo Vadis 2, with key development staff participating in a talk show. Finally, Capcom's booth was buzzing with activity around Street Fighter Alpha 2, featuring skilled players demonstrating impressive combos, a classic highlight of any fighting game presence. The report also notes playable demos for other titles like Duke Yusei 2 and Sotsugyo S, surprisingly available despite being early in development. This page continues the report on the Tokyo Game Show '96, highlighting the exciting events and announcements from various third-party developers. The Warp booth was a focal point, drawing crowds eager to see President Kenji Ino. They announced a new title, Channel 9, and showcased their new Saturn game, Real Sound, based on a TV drama script. A major highlight was a talk show between Ino and Sega AM2's Yu Suzuki, where Ino caused a stir with an explosive statement about the possibility of Virtua Fighter 3 being released on the Saturn. The show floor was also buzzing with game tournaments for titles like Bomberman and wrestling games. The main event stage hosted a continuous stream of activities, including live performances by popular idols and voice actors like Noriko Hidaka and Mariko Kuda, public radio recordings, charity auctions, and a cosplay contest. Many booths also featured guest appearances by voice actors and idols, further exciting the fans and contributing to the energetic atmosphere of the show. This page continues the report from the Tokyo Game Show '96, focusing on the conference sessions. The event kicked off with a keynote from the SEGA chairman. The conference featured 2 main tracks, Business Conference and Young Gun Conference. The Business Conference included a session on TV game marketing, discussing multi-promotion plans, with insight from Sega's AM promotion department on the evolving landscape of game advertising. The Young Gun track hosted compelling discussions. One panel, Secrets of Hit Games, featured renowned creators like Yuji Naka of Sonic Team, Yoshiki Okamoto known for Street Fighter and Resident Evil,
and Hitoshi Kojima, the visionary behind Metal Gear and Snatcher. They shared how they got into the industry and their philosophies on making fun games. Akiko Chiba from Cherry Lips, known for her work on Outrun, also spoke, alongside Kenichi Horii, who worked on classics like Dragon Quest and Portopia Serial Murder Case. Another Young Gun discussion brought together founders of key companies like Enix, Atlas, and Game Arts to share the stories behind their startups, including talk about major titles like Sakura Wars and the production costs of Grandia. These sessions offered valuable perspectives from the industry's pioneers and current leaders. This page dives into the Sega Saturn release of Real Bout Fatal Fury, highlighting its features and how it replicates the arcade experience. It emphasizes that the game, when using the expansion RAM cartridge, achieves near arcade quality, boasting improved access times and a smooth play environment. The article breaks down several key systems. The sway line movement from Fatal Fury 3 is refined, allowing players to shift between planes with a dedicated button input, now called overhead sway, and characters automatically return to the main line. A new ring-out system is also introduced. The combination attack system is detailed, explaining how specific button sequences create powerful consecutive attacks unique to each character, including combos that utilize the sway lines. The crucial power gauge is explained, filling as you fight and guard. A full gauge allows super special moves, but if your health is low, it unlocks even more powerful potential abilities. Finally, it touches upon other advanced techniques like guard cancels, wake-up attacks, and pursuit attacks. The page is visually rich, featuring a striking illustration of Geese Howard with his subordinates, and numerous gameplay screenshots showcasing various characters and the highlighted systems in action, including characters like Terry Bogard, Mai Shiranui, Billy Kane, Franco Bash, Kim Kafwan, and Yamazaki. The overall tone suggests the game is a significant step up for the series on home consoles. The next page provides a comprehensive introduction to the full roster of 16 playable characters in Real Bout Fatal Fury. Each fighter gets a dedicated profile featuring a dynamic illustration, a brief background detailing their story and motivation for entering the King of Fighters tournament, and a highlight of one of their signature special moves or abilities, accompanied by a gameplay screenshot. This page gives players a chance to get acquainted with the diverse cast, including returning favorites like Terry Bogard and Odi Bogard, Joe Higashi, Mai Shiranui, and the boss himself, Geese Howard, alongside newcomers such as Blue Mary and Han Fu. The presentation clearly lays out who's who and offers a glimpse into their fighting styles through the featured moves, making it easy to pick your main fighter before hitting the game. This page dives into Kojima's classic sci-fi adventure, Policenauts, highlighting its cinematic presentation and intriguing story. It introduces the core cast, detailing characters like the former Policenaut detective Jonathan Ingram, his former partner Ed Brown, now ABCP officer, and the mysterious Karen North. The feature outlines the game's plot, starting with Jonathan's investigation into his ex-wife's disappearance, that pulls him into events on the space colony Beyond Coast. The Saturn version is shown to feature upgraded animation compared to the PlayStation release, providing a smoother visual experience. New systems are also detailed, such as a dictionary mode to help players understand the world's terminology. The page emphasizes the action elements by showcasing the dedicated shooting training mode, allowing players to practice combat skills separate from the main story. Overall, it presents Policenauts as a narrative-driven adventure, with enhanced visuals and gameplay features on the Saturn. This page covers two distinct Sega Saturn titles. On the left is Starfighter 3000, a 3D flight shooting game featuring 60 stages set across the sky and space. Success requires tactical planning, cooperating with allied squadrons by issuing commands to your flagship, and targeting a variety of objectives from enemy aircraft to ground installations. Collecting energy crystals from destroyed structures boosts your weapons, adding another layer to the gameplay as you decide when and how to use these power-ups. On the right, we dive into the chaotic fun of Destruction Derby. This game throws players into high-impact races, where smashing into opponents is not just allowed, but encouraged. It's highlighted for its popularity in the West, and offers 4 distinct modes. Wreck-'n Racing blends racing with combat, allowing you to attack rivals on the track. Destruction Derby puts you in an arena free-for-all to be the last car running. Stock Car Racing focuses on finishing first but still lets you damage opponents. And Time Trials are standard races against the clock. The feature points out the thrill of scoring points by spinning out rivals, and the realistic touch of damage directly affecting how your car handles. This page features 2 distinct Sega Saturn titles, heavily reliant on video content. On the left is Summer Color Memories, Mahjong Edition, an idol audition simulation where aspiring stars compete in mahjongs. Players guide one of 8 unique hopefuls through the final selection process, which is decided entirely by their mahjong prowess. Winning matches against rivals unlocks various movie scenes, showcasing the girl's journey to becoming an idol, while losing triggers scenes reflecting the consequences of defeat. On the right, we look at Angel Paradise Volume 2, Wanna Be With You in Hawaii, featuring the popular celebrity Kumiko Yoshino. This game centers around a picture-matching puzzle mechanic set in Hawaii. Successful puzzle completion allows players to progress through a multi-branching story filled with interactive movie scenes starring Kumiko-chan. The experience is designed to feel like a vacation date, with outcomes influenced by player performance. Additional modes include a data room containing photos and trivia, and a quiz to test your knowledge. Both games use player success as a gateway to unlock extensive video footage. This page features a look at the Ultraman Encyclopedia software for the Sega Saturn, presented as a comprehensive database covering Ultraman and Ultra 7. It delves into character profiles, monster data, combat abilities, and famous scenes from the TV shows, many viewable via video clips, including high-quality MPEG footage when using the movie card. Screenshots show data screens, battle scenes, and character details like Ultra 7's profile and the Science Patrol team. The page also includes the Impression Review section, expanded to feature scores and comments from 10 different reviewers. Highlighted games include the RAM cartridge Enhanced Real Bout Fatal Fury and Street Fighter Alpha 2, which are noted as a strong lineup for fighting game fans. The review chart provides a look at how multiple new Saturn releases like Policenauts, Kotetsu Reiki, Starfighter 3000, and Destruction Derby were received by the diverse panel of critics, giving readers varied perspectives on the latest titles. This Saturn Soft Impression highlights several new Saturn game releases. Steel Rain, a 3D combat sim, showed promise but received a 4.9 due to close quarters combat issues. Policenauts, with its cinematic presentation, scored a 7.3, praised for its immersive adventure experience despite a perceived abrupt ending. Starfighter 3000, a PC port, faced graphical limitations, earning a 4.7. Real Bout Fatal Fury 6.2 was found accessible and enjoyable. Street Fighter Alpha 2 7.8 was lauded as a must-have fighting game. The Ultraman Encyclopedia, a database, scored 7.3, recommended for fans. Finally, Angel Paradise Volume 2 6.2 featured improved video quality. The collection reveals a mix of successful fighting games and promising adventure titles, with some titles struggling in execution. This page features impressions and reviews of several recent Saturn software releases, including a roundtable discussion among the reviewers. Starting with the reviews, Destruction Derby is highlighted for its simple goal of wrecking cars, which provides a deep and enjoyable experience, though some feel the simple rules could lead to fatigue. It scored a 4.9. Mobile Suit Gundam Side Story. The Blue Destiny is praised for its realistic depiction of mobile suit movement and cockpit view, capturing the essence of Gundam. While the controls are good, some felt it lacked depth and content, giving it a score of 6.2. The Sega Ages version of Outrun is reviewed as a near-perfect port of the arcade classic, especially appreciated for its music arrangements, positioned as a driver's game for enthusiasts. Finally, Mezase Idol Star Natsuhiro Memories, Mahjong Edition, a mahjong game featuring idol characters, is seen as having low difficulty and is recommended for fans of mahjong and the characters featured. The roundtable discussion covers various titles. Reviewers chat about the fun of Policenauts action segments and note the PS version of Street Fighter Alpha 2, referred to as 02, has significant bonus content that the Saturn version lacks. A large portion of the discussion centers on the Gundam side story games, debating whether they truly capture the Gundam world despite impressive visuals and action. The potential of the expansion RAM is also discussed in relation to games like Real Bout Fatal Fury and its impact on visuals and performance. This page showcases a lineup of exciting new Capcom arcade titles, focusing heavily on fighting games. A major highlight is Street Fighter Alpha 2 Alpha, presented as an updated version of the popular fighter currently running in arcades. This version includes new modes like Survival and Extra Player, allowing players to use different characters and offering fresh challenges, alongside additions to character movesets demonstrated in several action-packed screenshots. The page also features the return of the dramatic battle mode, where two players team up to take on the CPU in a cooperative fight, promising fast-paced action. Shifting gears, there's a look at Quiz Nanero Dreams, a unique upcoming quiz adventure game that blends quiz gameplay with dating simulation elements. It tasks players with answering questions and navigating events to defeat a demon king. Lastly, the page announces the highly anticipated crossover fighting game, X-Men vs. Street Fighter,
teasing the dynamic tag team system and powerful combination attacks that fans can look forward to.
This page delves into reader-submitted hyper-ultra-tech tips and tricks for various Sega games, highlighting clever ways to enhance gameplay and unlock hidden content. There's a ranking system for the best submissions. One segment focuses on Tokimeki Memorial, Forever With You, revealing name entry tricks to manipulate starting stats, and a neat tip for calling girls directly from the phone screen by aligning the cursor and pressing a button. Specific button combos are listed for different characters. For Virtua Fighter Kids, a trick is detailed to access a Tsukuru Master Mode from the character select screen, likely enabling more advanced combo practice. Clockwork Knights players can find a tip on a secret name entry that seems to unlock movies. Sports fans aren't left out, with a tip for Greatest 996, showing how to select players for the All-Star game based on specific abilities, like hitting or running, by holding down certain buttons. There are also tips for simulation games, like Aquazone, for easier fish coupling, and visual novel-style games like Galjon, for unlocking character graphics, and Dokusei, if for faster map travel, and accessing an alternative title screen. The page wraps up with a call for more reader submissions, seeking tips for Sega Saturn, 32X, Mega Drive, and Game Gear titles, underscoring the community aspect of discovering game secrets.
This page introduces Sega Saturn Network's Navigator and the online world called Habitat 2, part of a series highlighting the experience. Habitat 2 is presented as a graphical communication system where users access a virtual city called Elysium. You create an avatar, explore the streets, visit shops and facilities like the changing room to customize your appearance, including changing your head and skin color. The core of Habitat 2 is interaction. After navigating the entry procedures, you're encouraged to walk around, use the map, and most importantly, talk to other users you encounter. The page emphasizes that while it might feel awkward at first, the community in Elysium is welcoming and ready to chat. The interface is explained, detailing elements like the pointer, avatar representation, message areas, and input fields for communication. Accessing Habitat 2 requires the Sega Saturn keyboard, as the software comes bundled with it. There's a section on communication fees, noting that access uses the Nifty Serve network and involves monthly fees plus connection time, with example costs provided. Information is shared via in-world bulletin boards, allowing users to post and reply to messages, similar to ABBS. Finally, the page mentions Sega's official website is beginning to offer support for Sega Saturn networks, including a Q&A bulletin board, linking to relevant URLs. This page features the Coming Soon section, showcasing a variety of upcoming games for the Sega Saturn. First up is a game focused on traveling across Japan, seemingly a board game-style experience called DX Japan Limited Express Travel Game. It involves following preset travel plans to visit landmarks, sample local food, and earn points through dice rolls and events across the country. Next, we see Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, bringing beloved characters from Street Fighter Alpha 2 and Night Warriors into a frantic puzzle battle. The game features super deformed versions of characters like Ryu, Morrigan, and Felicia, competing in a puzzle game where you match colored gems to attack your opponent. It highlights the strategy of building up power gems for big attacks and dealing with counterattacks. Finally, there's the adventure game Discworld, based on Terry Pratchett's fantasy novels. It's an English adventure game where you play as the wizard Rincewind, tasked with finding and stopping a dragon. The gameplay focuses on classic point-and-click style puzzle solving, with a large number of puzzles to figure out, rather than a linear story progression. You'll interact with characters and use inventory items to advance. The Coming Soon section previews upcoming Sega Saturn titles. Mighty Hits is a light gun shooter utilizing the Virtua gun across 20 stages, catering to all skill levels. Summer Azama Stages O Play offers diverse gameplay with action and memory challenges across 3 difficulty levels. 2 soccer games are also highlighted. J-League Excite Stage focuses on J-League teams and realism, while Real Soccer Experience promises realistic player movement and 3D stadiums. Batsugun is a vertical scrolling shooter with 3 pilot types
and a screen rotation feature. World Series Baseball 2 features licensed J-League teams, real players, detailed stadiums, and Hideo Nomo. Finally, Gameware Volume 3 includes a game-themed digital comic and introduces Pivbit Boy, a competitive puzzle game for 2 players. The next page continues the coming soon previews for Sega Saturn. We see Western 1999 Revival of the Pharaoh, a 3D action game where you fight space aliens who have invaded Egypt. You explore stages, find hidden items, and solve puzzles, with the player being a human trying to save humanity. There's also an educational soccer game called Soccer Kids, guided by director Kyo Okudera, focusing on teaching fundamental techniques like kicking, trapping, and dribbling through video lessons. Good Island Cafe Megumi Ijima Love is a unique title where you work with the idol Megumi Ijima, editing her photos and videos, and getting to hear her new songs. A big announcement is that Yoshimoto Kogyo is fully entering the Saturn market, starting with Funky Fantasy, a parody RPG simulation featuring their many comedian and talent rosters in a fantasy setting. They plan to actively develop and release games themselves going forward. Mahjong Taikai 2 Special brings together 23 famous personalities, both real and fictional, for mahjong matches, complete with voice dialogue and animated expressions. Finally, a new title trend section briefly touches on upcoming games, mentioning that titles like Virtua Fighter 2 on Saturn are highly anticipated. This page presents a comprehensive status report on a host of exciting software titles heading to the Sega Saturn. Headlining the previews are anticipated sequels and new entries in popular series like the lightning-fast robot battles of Cyber Troopers Virtual On, the on-rail shooting action of Virtua Cop 2, and the tactical combat of Samurai Showdown 2i. Fans of deep RPGs have a lot to look forward to, with updates on the highly anticipated Grandia, the next chapters in the beloved Lunar Saga, Silver Star Story and Eternal Blue, and the strategic depth of Langrisser 2i and Tactics Ogre. The report also covers a variety of other genres, including anime-style adventure and dating sims like Kakusei, Dukusei 2, and Sentimental Graffiti,
detective adventure Tante Jinguji Sabaru, and the unique survival horror title Enemy Zero. Each entry provides a snapshot of development progress, often featuring comments directly from the development teams or staff, alongside screenshots or character art, giving a clear picture of how these promising games are shaping up. It's a crucial look for any Saturn owner keeping track of what's coming next. This page presents the upcoming software release schedule for the Sega Saturn and Game Gear, stretching from spring 1996 into early 1997 and beyond, with some tentative listings. For Sega Saturn, this calendar highlights a packed lineup featuring sequels and new entries across diverse genres. Fighting game aficionados had a lot to anticipate, with key releases like the refined Virtua Fighter Remix and the hotly awaited Virtua Fighter 2, the intense robotic duels of Cyber Troopers Virtual On, Operation Moongate, the strategic combat of Fighters History Dynamite, Karnov's Revenge, and the character mashup of Fighters Megamix. RPG fans could look forward to major titles that were highly anticipated, including the epic Grandia, the next chapters in the beloved Lunar series, Silver Star Story and Eternal Blue, the strategic depth of Dragon Force 2, and the beginnings of the Shining Force 3 saga. The calendar also shows unique Japanese hits, like the theatrical RPG Sakura Taisen, and the atmospheric survival horror title Enemy Zero, demonstrating the breadth of experiences available. The Game Gear section simply lists a handful of upcoming smaller titles for the handheld system. The next page announces the upcoming issue, number 20, set for release on September 20th. It highlights significant features within the issue, including scoop reports on popular upcoming games like the intense robot combat of Cyber Troopers Virtual On, Operation Moongate, the highly anticipated fighting sequel Street Fighter Alpha 2, and the unique Japanese RPG Sakura Taisen. A large portion of the page is dedicated to promoting Angel Paradise Volume 2, I Want to Be With You in Hawaii, a communication software game starring Kimiko Yoshino. This sequel promises new features, including a refined system, clearer movie sequences utilizing true motion technology, and a branching story influenced by player conversations. It also advertises a campaign offering an alarm clock featuring the actress's voice as a limited bonus. The page also includes a game index listing the numerous titles covered within the magazine. This page is all about the intense mecha combat found in Mobile Suit Gundam Side Story 0079, Rise from the Ashes on the Sega Saturn. The main visual features a powerful Gundam mobile suit against a dramatic sky with a large moon, setting a somber battlefield mood, reinforced by the text,
Wishing for dawn, they headed towards the endless battlefield. This 3D action game plunges you into dramatic scenarios during the One-Year War, promising a compelling narrative. Scattered across the page are glimpses of the gameplay via small screenshots, showing cockpit views and third-person perspectives of mobile suit action against various terrains. The focus here is on the first installment, Senritsu no Blue, Rise from the Ashes, which was set to launch on September 20th for 4,800 yen, excluding tax. It's highlighted as the first of a 3-volume series, with subsequent volumes continuing the story, promising more mobile suit battles. As a special bonus for purchasing volumes 1 through 3, there's a double present campaign offering a special military rank badge,